Hey guys, what's going on? It is August 1st, 2023, and I just wrapped up the best month I've had in business yet, and I wanted to showcase exactly what I did to do that. We collected $93,031.39 last month, and that surpassed June by almost $30,000, and we only spent $3,000 more in ads. This is the first time I've had a seven-figure run rate in my current business. I've had other businesses in the past that have done this, but this is the first time in this business. And I want to, in this video, show you exactly what I did to get there. And there's really 5 stages that we're gonna cover. And every single stage that you're at, you're gonna use different strategies and techniques to be able to get more clients and grow your business. Okay, so before we get into today's content, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. That allows me to share more videos like this to you. So if you're a coach looking to grow and scale an online coaching business, subscribe for more videos just like this. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the computer. All right, so I wanted to just show you the growth that I've had with this current offer since January. Okay, I launched this offer in November of last year. I put a beta group through it. And then in January, I opened the doors back up again to take on more clients. So this is just this year to date. I did block off most other things down here, so you can kind of just see the revenue as well as my advertising costs. Okay, so you'll see month by month, and we've grown a lot, right? I started the year around 20,000. In February, I did 28. In March, I did 31. In April, I did 22. And then we really started to invest into advertising here in May. And this is when you can start to see things just start to skyrocket, right? We go from 22,000 to 54,000 to 63 to 93 with just about $3,700 more in ad spend. And this is exciting because now I'm at the point where I can hire more people to help me build my business. Because I'll be very honest and transparent. Like when you're in this like 10 to 20K range, you can like hire and outsource some people, but you don't have that much flexibility and being able to like invest in good people. Once you're above the 50, 60, 90, I can start to invest in real talent and people and like really invest in ads and test more things. So I'm really excited. This is huge. And yeah, again, the intention of this video is just to show you this because I was able to do this relatively fast. This is not my first business. I don't expect most people to be able to do half as fast as this, right? But I went from a brand new offer in November and started taking on a cohort again in January and was able to scale that up to a 7-figure run rate in 6 to 7 months. I'm stoked, okay? And I'm a big fan of like documenting the journey, not just like teaching. So that's what I'm doing here, being very transparent with my numbers and just walking you through the journey that I've taken just this year to get here. Cool part is, man, I made a video in like March and I was like, this is my plan to get to 7-figure run rate by the end of the year. And it happened like midway through the year. I'm like, whoa. So sometimes your reality is going to surpass your expectations. And that's what I feel right now and feel very, very, very grateful. All right, so let's go ahead and now this is gonna be the fun part. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did in January and how that's progressed all the way up until my business made 93,000. Okay, last month. So stage 1, this is $0 to $10,000 a month. These are the only real 3 things that I did. I posted on Instagram consistently high value content. I did reels, I did tweet posts, I did photos. Honestly, it didn't matter what the exact strategy was. I just posted 5 times and made as much valuable content as I could. I gave away as much free things as I possibly could to create more goodwill in the marketplace. And then from that, I started 20 new conversations a day. That's all I did. I tried my best. Like when I started, I didn't have a big following. So I would look at my hot network, like who are people in my network immediately that I think could benefit from my offer. I also looked at who was engaging in my content, whether they were liking my posts, commenting, or they were viewing my stories. So anybody that was there, or a new friend, like if someone friend requested me or like followed me on Instagram, I would shoot them a message. But my goal was, can I start 20 new messages a day with people who are already in my ecosystem? And if I didn't have any, I would do some cold messages. When you're getting started, it's okay to do cold messages, right? Like sometimes we just need to talk to more people and build our network, and we can do that on Instagram. Okay, so that was my social media strategy. The other thing that I was doing at this beginning level stage was I was spending a lot of time networking. And it's one of the most underutilized ways to grow your business is just by networking and talking to more people who are in your niche or serve that demographic. So here, I live in Austin, Texas. I did that strategically too, because I know there's lots of coaches here, right? There's lots of coaches here and I help coaches get more clients. So I knew that was my skill set. So once or twice a week, I would meet with people locally and yeah, just get to know them and their business. I didn't necessarily pitch them, but if I did think I could help, I would invite them to a formal sales call where I could, audit their business, have a conversation about what they're working on to see if I could help. I didn't pitch myself in a networking meeting. I just didn't feel good, right? I did that once, twice a week in person. And if I couldn't meet them in person because they were, I've got some clients that live in Australia, Dubai, stuff like that. If they weren't local, I would still have 1 to 2 Zoom calls a week, just connecting with new people, other businesses that are doing what I'm doing. Okay, or serve the same demographic as me, or could be potential clients. Honestly, I just booked a ton of calls and talked to a lot of people. And some of these ended up being, I'll be honest, some of this was, I want to say a waste of time, but I didn't have a return on time investment. But that's okay. I just need to have more coffee dates because my whole goal is just to get to 10K. And to be honest, you only need to sign 5, maybe 1 or 2 clients a week, really, to be able to get to this pretty fast. So you don't need to do that much. Okay. So I was posting regularly on social, I was networking, and then I was taking all of my sales calls. I can't outsource sales if I don't have enough money to do so, because they're taking about 10% of this. But if I'm only making 10K and they, take 10%, that's only $1,000, just, not enough. So I was taking my own sales calls. So I did this strategy, stayed really consistent with this until I was doing 10 grand a month. Then once I did that, I moved on to stage 2. Stage 2, this took me from 10 grand to 20 grand a month. And a lot of things stayed consistent here. The biggest change that I made is now that I was doing 10K a month, like I mentioned, there was lots of times where I'd have these Zoom calls, local meetings that weren't really panning to anything. So I ended up dropping those. I was like, all right, I'm making 10 to 20K a month. I've got consistent clients. They're on retainer. They're paying me monthly for support. Great. Which if you're doing coaching, you can do a monthly retainer or you can do paid in full. I had a mix of both, but with both, I was doing about 10K a month. Okay. So I kept posting on social because that was working. I was still starting 10 to 20 new conversations a day, but this is where I started to invest back in my business. Instead of me having these conversations, I hired a messenger, which is an appointment setter, someone who can work your posts, anyone who engages in your post, work your following. They can start to connect, friend requests, follow new people so that you can continue to build your network. And it's not just you, okay? So this was the first hire that I made. That's why I colored it this way. This was the first hire that I made, and it freed up a ton of my time because when I paid somebody to be able to work 4 hours a day, that was a minimum of at least 1 sales call booked every day, at least 1, sometimes 2, but typically 1 when I was starting out at this stage. Okay. So I was doing this, staying consistent, and then I started to building systems. Okay. So I started to create a free training that really covered my 5-step process for someone to get more clients online. Okay, this is the current one I've got, so the link will be in the bio, and I'll probably have at the end of this, I'll make another call to action to check it out. But it's a free training that just says, here's how to get 10 clients in the next 30 days. It's a more in-depth training on my philosophy and the steps to take, right? And yeah, I made that training during this time period. And this took a lot of time because I wanted to make sure that this was the best work that I could possibly provide, because you've got to give away good stuff to get clients. If this was just a free training that was really just a sales pitch, it wasn't very good, I wouldn't be ended up getting clients from it. But I spent a lot of time making this. It probably took a good 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks, I'd say, really, of fine tuning this, saying, yeah, I feel confident with this. Okay. Also, I set up automated campaigns, knowing that as I scale, this is going to be important, is when someone opts into this free training, I created a text message campaign that went out. I created an email drip that went out. And anyone that opted in would be starting to get those. Okay, so I started building this. I didn't really launch it, but I set it up in stage 2. And then I was still taking sales calls. So mainly like acquisition or way of getting new clients was posting on social and having somebody message new people, connect with new people, follow new people, and book calls for me. That was like my primary way to grow during this period, because if I could get someone working 4 hours a day, it's at least 1 call a day, ideally booked. Great, 5 calls a week. I should get at least 1 new client, if not 2, every single week. So I was doing that as I was growing. And this, like, well, kind of coming back up to here, this was me in like January, and then even in February is when I started to do that, right? So I was sticking primarily in stage 2 as far as the strategy goes for those 2 months. Okay, stage 3. Now, once this is like, I finished the free training, and I now want to drive traffic to that free training to give value to people, and in exchange for their name, phone number, and email, and I'm gonna contact them after the free training to see if they watched it and how it went for them, okay? So I, again, stayed with the same Instagram strategy. Now I started running ads. I use Facebook ads to start, and that's where I'm currently primarily just doing Facebook. I'm gonna start YouTube again, but I've just found a really good flow with Facebook, and I haven't scaled it that much yet. So I'm gonna keep spending, right? So here I was spending about $100 to $200 a day, and I'm doing business coaching. So if you're a fitness coach, you don't necessarily need to spend this much, or a health coach to get started. You can get started closer to 20, 30 bucks a day. I've got a more expensive offer, a more saturated market, so I am gonna spend more, okay? And I also wanna grow fast, right? But I set up some ads to a free training, and I was spending about 100 to 200 bucks a day. And this was getting me anywhere from 5 to 10 leads a day, right? And I still have my messenger, okay? So I have my messenger in here, and now she was reaching out to these 5 to 10 people, in addition to people that liked the ad, people that followed me. So now that I was spending money on ads, I started getting people following me, right? So now that these people are following me, she messaged them on my behalf and connected with them and said and invited them to sales calls, okay? So from 20 to 50K a month, only thing that was really different was I set up some ads and I started spending $100 to $200 a day. Again, you're not gonna spend that much if you're a health coach. That's not what you're gonna do. But I just wanted to be transparent on what I did to get there, okay? Your volume's gonna probably be cut in half, if not cut in a quarter when you get started. But this is what I did, okay? Okay, now, once I got up to the 50K a month range, things started to shift and things started to change, because it costs on average, just to give you an idea, it costs me with a business coaching offer about $250 to book a call, to book a sales call. For most health coaches, it's gonna cost about $150. That's like the goal. If we can get closer to 100, even better. But $100 to $200 is gonna be a normal range to book a call, to which we're a sales call, okay? So for me, stage 4, this is where I'm currently at. I'm currently in stage 4. I haven't collected 100K yet, and I'm probably gonna keep riding this out until I get to about 110, 120. But nothing here is really different except for my spend increased, right? So I'm now spending more money. And now my lead flow has gotten to 20 to 25 leads a day, right? Because my average cost per lead is about $25. So 20 to 30 leads a day. And then from this, I still have my messenger who's starting conversations with these leads. Primarily, this is what their inbox is doing now, but I'll still get follows. They still send they'll still send messages to new followers, book calls, etc. The big change I made here is I hired a enrollment specialist to take over my calls. So again, like as we hit these new stages and milestones, we can start to invest in other things. The first thing we invested in stage 2 was I hired a messenger, someone to take this for me. The third stage, I now am, instead of us starting conversations with potentially cold people, I'm gonna let ads bring people who want my offer to me. Okay, so my next investment after hiring a messenger was ads. And then third, once I've got that system up and running, I need to hire someone to take the calls for me. Okay, so that I can continue to work on the brand, work on the business, create more systems, etc. Okay. So y'all, I'm giving you a lot in this. This is probably more of a more in-depth training. I like to keep things simple. This is definitely more in-depth of training. So you might need to watch this a time or two. Okay, so then what I did here is I hired an enrollment specialist to take my calls for me. And this person currently has anywhere from 4 to 6 calls a day right now. And we're continuing to fine tune that. Okay. That's where we're at. That's the growth, right? That's the growth. And now it's like, okay, well, now what do I need to do to continue to grow? And the answer is pretty easy. I just do more of what works, right? Like I'm going to keep spending like $1,000 a day. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to keep spending. I'm not doing that now, but I'm going to scale to the point where I'm spending $1,000, $2,000 a day. And I hire more appointment setters and then the messages to be able to book calls for me. And then I hire more appointment or enrollment specialists, right? And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on where this is going, like where my offer is going. Do I want to stop at 120? Do I want to stop at 200, 300, 500? We don't know yet. Like I'm still, like you guys can already see, like we're still in the beginning stage, and I'm open to seeing where this is going to go because I ultimately I want my clients to get results. And then I also really want to have a good brand reputation. I don't want to have hundreds of people in here if my product isn't giving them results. You know what I mean? Because in the marketing world, it's really like who's the best marketer in this space, and those are the people that get a lot of clients. But I've seen a lot of offers that aren't very good, right? And that's not my intention. My intention is to keep that. And if the integrity of that declines, then there's no need for me to keep spending more and having more sales reps. Like what I should be doing instead is to start investing back into the product more, right? And I didn't really cover that in this, but in this time period too, I've already hired a support coach. I'm interviewing more support coaches. We've made more systems inside of the curriculum too. But my channel is much more around growth, so I'm just keeping it more around growth. So yeah, this is how you can continue to grow. Continue to support more people, share your message, and really make a transformative difference in the world. And the only way we can really do that is by growing a business. And we grow the business by having more income. Like more revenue. The more revenue that our business makes, the more we can help more people doing what we're doing. So we have to get more clients. We have to make more sales if we want to have a big impact. And I know a lot of us may be may not have the most positive relationship with money. And it's sad because once we can fix that, we can help more people. Okay. So yeah, y'all, this is what I've been doing, and it's super cool to be able to share this with you and celebrate with you. So thank you guys for being here and helping me, just documenting this process. I'm filming a YouTube video. You might ask, hey Matt, there's no YouTube stuff in here. YouTube is attributing to 0 of my sales right now. So I don't really recommend it for a lot of people when they're getting started. It can be a good investment once you're past the 50K. I know that by filming this video that it's a longer term investment. It's a 2 or 3 year play. And you might be watching this in 2 or 3 years and being like, dude, Matt, I remember this video. Cool. But yeah, this is the system that's working. This is working. I'm not going to talk about YouTube because YouTube hasn't converted for me yet, but this is working. This is what I'm doing. And I'm very, very excited to see all the people that I can continue to help with what I'm doing. So that's what I got for you guys today. I will have a link in the description below, like I mentioned earlier in the video, where it's got my 5-step process that walks through how I help my coaches and clients get 10 new clients a month. That goes over offer creation, sales, organic, paid acquisition, as well as running the business by their numbers. And yeah, much more in-depth training. And 2, if you want to see some of the automations that come from that, go ahead and opt in. Cool. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll talk soon. Peace.